Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have some pretty big stuff to go and talk about. Now, as you guys may or may not have heard, PlayStation just did their kind of big stockholder meeting, and of course, that leads to a lot of people that are very curious to know on where the PlayStation's going to go. How are they going to make more money? What are they going to focus on? And of course, what are their big priorities? Now, there's quite a few topics that came out with this one, so throughout the next few days, if there's any good ones, we'll maybe go and touch on it on the channel itself. But I'm going to give you guys some of the cooler ones out here, because number one, they have a big focus on the PlayStation 6. Surprisingly enough, and it was alluded towards that, there also was a lot of really intriguing like sales numbers. The fact that the PlayStation 5 is now finally the main PlayStation console in the PlayStation ecosystem, mainly meaning the PS4 was a very in-depth console, and of course, there's a few other various things as well. So we had a lot of stuff to talk about, so if you guys will enjoy, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys enter into the Switch 2 giveaway. Quick little update on that one. I did finally go get my Switch. We might just do like a ghetto unboxing or something on the channel this weekend, so be on the lookout for that. But I do finally have mine, so the next thing's all good for the giveaway stuff, so keep that in mind. Give me a few more days, then should be hopefully all sorted. So get your last minute intros in as of now, subscribe here, etc. We have the Twitter and Twitch down below. We actually might be checking out and playing some Mario Kart up on Twitch, and we might do something on YouTube as well for the stream, so keep that in mind, and I appreciate y'all so much for watching. In the first place, let's go dive on into the fact that the PlayStation 6 actually exists, saying right now, we have there's a lot of stuff that came out from this one, saying that the PlayStation 6 is top of Sony's priorities right now, says the Sony CEO. Now, don't worry if you guys just got a PS5 Pro, still got some time to chill, just got a Switch. Don't worry, your bank account has a while. I will still say the Switch 2 is pretty expensive at the end of the day, even in comparison to the PS5, but still, nonetheless. But as I said, the Sony Interactive president has recently stated that the PlayStation 6 is now one of the top priorities for the platform's future. With PlayStation 5 now close to 5 years old, players have started wondering about the platform's future. With the increase in cloud streaming and gaming, many players have wondered whether traditional consoles will be sidelined in favor of subscription-based services. Now, I'm sure you guys can understand that's entirely on Xbox. We made a video on this yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it was, that basically we lost the physical editions for Xbox titles. This is brand new stuff, it's not fun to know, but PlayStation is still getting them. That was a big controversial video, and like I said, some people are not the happiest with Xbox. But that also leads towards the fact that they're going towards Game Pass. They want more people on Game Pass, more Game Pass players. And when it comes to PlayStation itself, well, they are still okay with consoles, and that's kind of what we're pushing towards right now. There's going to probably be some handhelds on both PlayStation and Xbox's side. That's fine, and Game Pass obviously is their priority. But the Xbox in the future, the Xbox console's up in the air. I've still always said there's probably going to be at least one, maybe two more Xbox consoles, but at the end of the day, it's not doing so good. Now, PlayStation, though, is nah, man, we're making sure this PS6 is going to exist. Saying over here, too, that, yeah, we don't need to only do streaming, cloud streaming. You have, normal conventional consoles provide more control over network stability and are cost efficient. Basically saying we'd rather just go and sell you consoles because they're little mini computers that are on our ecosystem. We kind of know how they run. We don't have to worry about anything crazy, and that's nice. So, I mean, because people are a little bit concerned about consoles going away. Rightfully so, there is a chance that consoles are just gone forever. Saying Sony is now prioritizing the future of the platform with a PlayStation 6. So during a business segment with the investors, thanks for the VGC, Hideki Nishino, the president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, spoke about console hardware being more of a priority than cloud streaming, saying, yeah, no Game Pass, that's Xbox's thing. We'll put cloud streaming, cloud hosting, and maybe old school style games, PlayStation Now type style stuff on our console. That's fine. Totally cool. No worry about it. But we want the console still. And they are pretty much the leaders in comparison, at least from the PlayStation Xbox, or more so the high-end consoles. So why not just keep their niche? If it's working well, they're making money, well, why not? So Nishino states that even though cloud streaming is growing well from a technical standpoint, the end-to-end network stability is not in their control. And that's a big function for Microsoft. They own all their data centers or Azure. They're investing into AI computing, they're building these big data centers and hosters. I'm investing in those quite a bit, so I'm pretty well versed with it. And it's very expensive. But it's Microsoft. They have the money, and they're going to make money if they go make 10 billion spare dollars that they can allocate every year to building up data centers and having these massive plots of land. The world's going to be very dystopian, yes, but it's good for shareholders and good for gamers, which is a weird thing to say, but either way. So it's also the challenge of cloud streaming costing higher per playtime than a traditional console to as well. Basically saying if you have a normal PlayStation 5 or future 6, then you could just sit there and your console's kind of, the GPU, the CPU in it is running the, the power. Like that's what they're utilizing. I don't know how best, that's what's going on. But if you have once again, like I just mentioned, these big data centers that are you going from your internet to there, they are kind of taking the load. So instead of your own console computing your own house battery, house electricity, then people on the cloud have to go and use their data centers, which I already told you guys are very costly. And then the more and more people on, say, Game Pass means more and more people you have to go and spend money on. Like, it will return money. That's why it's a subscription service. But PlayStation's like, nah, man, let's just keep it easy. So Nishino explains that cloud streaming can provide players with the new option to access content. However, they believe that most players would rather experience gaming through local execution than depend on network conditions. The CEO adds that they were able to create a large ecosystem of players across 2 generations, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Hence, there is a huge interest in their strategy for the PlayStation 6. So the interactive CEO, Sony CEO, sorry, I read that word, said that he could not reveal any details at the moment, but could confirm the future of the platform is top of mind. So the PS6, the PlayStation is committed to exploring a new and enhanced way for players to engage with our content and services too as well. And they also had one of the vice presidents of finances, Lynn Azar, mention to them, saying that they are still figuring out what the future of the platform looks like, that traditionally, cyclically, has been reduced, and large ecosystems across the PS4 and PS5 provide recurring revenues. The future will also focus on continuing to drive a multi-generational ecosystem, providing new ways for players to access and engage with content. Basically saying PS4, PS5, and then PS6, but also most likely alluding towards maybe even their own cloud streaming, which they already have, but mainly probably the PlayStation Portable to PS6 portal, whatever you guys want to go call it as well. So intriguing to see that the PS6 is still the main forefront for all of this. But we've also had some other intriguing comments too as well that they want to have on their first party titles and going to PC. I think it's important to realize that we're really thoughtful about bringing our franchises off console to reach new audiences, and that we're taking a very measured, very deliberate approach in doing that. Basically saying like, hey, this is probably going to go to other stuff, portable stuff and PC stuff or Epic Games or whatever, but we got to be smart with it. Saying on the single player side, our tentpole titles, the point of differentiation for the PlayStation console, they are the real showcases of the performance. Basically saying we want our consoles to have the #1 priority. Because yeah, we could sell it on PC, but how else are we going to sell consoles? At the end of the day, that does make a lot of sense, and I do appreciate the thought. So it kind of once again shows that PS6 is basically on the top of the priority list for the PlayStation ecosystem, which I think is awesome to see. But I do like seeing other games on PC. And obviously, if we have more stuff, like, say, an Xbox handheld, that means we can have more of that, say, even PlayStation games, albeit maybe like a year later, 2 years later, means we can still play those on the Xbox ecosystem. And it does kind of seem like the world is healing. Xbox games on PlayStation, PlayStation games on PC, PC games being playable on every type of mobile device seems pretty cool at the end of the day. Now, we did also have some really big numbers too as well that basically show the PS5 actually has made $13 billion in profits. So this is compared to the $10 billion cumulative profit generated during the PS1 and PS4 generation as well. So we have a chance to look through some of these numbers. I'll hide myself down over here in the corner. Basically saying the PlayStation sales. Operating income, you guys can see all these throughout PlayStation, PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, and then PS5's at $136 billion with a $13 million operating income, which although these graphs are smaller, is still bigger just because the number itself is overall a larger too as well. Now, we may actually have some big deals more for subscription stuff, maybe on throughout this weekend or throughout the next few days, because it does seem like the PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass has a lot of news in the system. Basically saying right now these monthly users, though, are finally bigger over here. These are finally bigger over here right now on the PS5 after all this time. But of course, also people are spending more money on the PlayStation itself, whether for peripherals, mostly for services, and ideally because of the PlayStation Plus price increases, and of course, more people doing online gaming. But right now, it does seem like the PlayStation 5 is actually finally the bigger console, and it only took like 5 years. Like, this is like as of this moment, which is crazy for me. But obviously, a lot of people probably are cool with their PS4s. Maybe they're playing more casual games, Fortnite, Rocket League, all those types of games, maybe even Call of Duties as well. So big thing to go and note too. On top of that one, there also has been a lot more people on the higher end side. when it comes to the PS Plus and all these other various platforms. Also, really big to note, there is some really big news too I also want to cover as well in regards to PlayStation and a few more potential hostile takeovers for companies and expanding out the Sony and also PlayStation ecosystem. So keep that in mind. Subscribe if you guys want. I can't wait to make those videos. They seem very intriguing to me. But we have a lot more news to go cover throughout the week in the next few days. So subscribe if you guys are new. I appreciate you guys all very much for watching. Check out the Switch 2 giveaway down below, or be unboxing my current Switch on, well, Twitch itself down below. And I appreciate you all so much for watching in the corner. Bye, guys.